So I was fortunate enough to visit and listen to the Cory Doctorow Kilgore lecture earlier this afternoon. Um, his talk, I think, was entitled "Peak Indifference," and kind of concerned uh, how users in our general population, the tide seems to be turning, and that as a whole, we seem to be um, concerned with and are taking issue with a lot of the things that these major companies are doing, companies like Facebook, just for instance. Um, and we're kind of trying to reclaim our privacy and reclaim, user rights in a way. Um, he mentioned how a lot of companies in the past have just kind of not only kind of abused laws, but kind of controlled what the laws were, and that they were able to kind of do whatever they want and establish in a lot of cases monopolies and products couldn't really be integrated together if they weren't from the same company. Mentioned like the example of I think HP printers. Their company installing software updates to where only HP inkjets could be used in those printers. He mentioned several different examples along those same lines, and how now things we kind of have to at this point take up arms against these sorts of issues, because if not, we'll live in a almost a dystopia future where we have no rights and privacy when it comes to a lot of these products. He mentioned how and a lot of times that these companies and the practices that they implement can kind of open the door up to more malicious activities from things like hackers installing. I think the example he used that I really liked was I think it was Sony implemented a software update in their CD players to where any sort of program that began with a certain string could not be identified by the user and could kind of sneak in under the radar there, and that hackers found this string and were able to create lots of malware and things like that to infect a lot of these computers, and ended up infecting thousands of different systems across the world. So I think his talk was really enlightening. I think it's something the general populace needs to hear, not just people who are kind of familiar in the field. It's an issue I think a lot of people in the tech field have noticed for quite some time, but it's something he mentions everyday people need to hear. I think this is especially important for the people making our laws. They need to be sort of aware of some of the dangers and issues surrounding these things, because they're the one making these laws, and the ones that could do something about it. So I think that was the biggest message for me that I took home, is that this is an issue that for those who are aware, we need to spread it and make others aware, because if not, we are going to head towards this sort of dystopia.